Welcome back. What news from Ratai?
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslavitz.
Then allow me to congratulate you. What will be your first step?
First, Actually, I'm not quite sure. What would you recommend?
As it happens, I already saw to a few things in your absence. You might have noticed that the first people have come from Ratai.
Yeah, I saw some heading here right away.
So when they arrived, I was able to start clearing building plots with them. After they'd erected some temporary dwellings, that is.
So we're ready to get things started?
As long as you know what you want to build, I can show these new people what to do. We'll be building on the sites we've measured out. You can go and look them over first, if you like.
I'll do that. I'll see what's going to be built where.
Nevertheless, I doubt you'll be able to figure that out just from looking at the sites.
How do I choose what to build where?
I've already given it some thought on your behalf. I even wrote it all down in the accounts ledger. Everything will be recorded there. I'll make a note of every change as we proceed.
Thanks. That'll be a big help. And where can I find this book?
It will always be kept at the rat house.
Well, there's nothing here, so we'll have to build everything. Ale house, bakery, butchers, rat house. Did I mention ale house?
Eventually. But be warned. To begin with, it's always best to start with facilities that will be producing construction materials for everything else. And since we'll mainly be using timber, it makes sense to set up a woodcutter's camp.
All right. And then what?
That depends. Every building has its use, but you'll soon get the grasp of it, and it's all in the ledger.
What about the workers' wages and buying materials for artisans?
The money must be put in the trunk here. The expenditures for wages and materials will be taken from it, so you should keep it topped up to prevent delays. Which reminds me, there's the matter of my own pay to be resolved.
Yes, of course.
Sir Divish guaranteed me a fixed income. What's more, this job is an exceptionally big one.
I see. But how much are you thinking?
I have a record of payment here somewhere. Here it is. Let's say 1/4 more than that.
All right. This amount ought to correspond to your work.
It seems we understand each other. I agree.
Good. I'll put your wages in the trunk, too. Are you sure it's quite safe?
Quite. Only you and I shall have a key and access to the trunk. Besides, we'll have guards on watch here.
That's reassuring.
That's about all to begin with. If you need any more details, I'll be happy to explain things to you.
Could you explain something to me? What are my duties as bailiff?
As bailiff, you must see to it that the village grows and prospers. You'll have to resolve disputes between citizens and decide what I should have built. The coin for it will come from your own purse. Basically, you'll have to keep the whole locality under control, but you can't just do whatever you like. You're still answerable to Sir Divish, as am I.
Which means
that if the folk here are unhappy, word will soon get to Sir Divish, and he'll put you in your place. So you'd better see to it that there's no thieving, and folk have jobs to do, and their wages are paid.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on things. How do I build houses?
First, find out how much it'll cost, and whether the upkeep won't ruin you. Everything is written in the ledger. You can check it all there, or just come and see me.
Sure. How do the accounts work?
The most important thing is to know how much profit your buildings generate, and what they cost to operate. That's written on the very first page of the ledger, which will be kept at the rat house. Whenever we erect a new building, I record it there, and you'll find all the profit generated by the village in the trunk next to the ledger.
And what if we spend more than we earn?
Then you'll have to put the amount necessary for covering the operating costs into the trunk.
I see. Probably best to have a little extra there for a rainy day, then. How do operating costs work?
Those are the workers' wages. costs of material and equipment for tradesmen, and so on.
And what if I don't have enough coin?
Then production will grind to a halt. Watch out for that. Folks soon get grouchy if they're not getting paid. The amount needed each day is recorded in the accounts ledger too. So you should keep enough in the trunk to cover the wages.
And how do I pay the workers?
Don't concern yourself about that. I'll take care of it. As long as you provide the coin.
So I could put enough money there for, say, 3 days in advance?
Indeed. Simple enough, isn't it?
All right. Thanks. How can I get new people to come to the village?
Don't worry about that. Folk will gradually turn up of their own accord when there are houses for them. Each building can house a certain number of people. The bigger the house, the more inhabitants. And the more space you have for them, the more country folk will come here in search of a better livelihood.
What about tradesmen?
I can find you fairly competent ones, but if you can get really skilled artisans, it will certainly be a boon for the village income. Although it's not all that easy to get skilled people. You could ask around.
I see. Any suggestions?
You could try asking the two Sasau armourers for a start. They're always at each other's throats, so maybe one of them could work here. But don't forget to get a forge and armoury workshop set up for him. Otherwise you'll only be wasting his time.
Right. I'll go and have a word with them later. I must give some thought to who else would come in handy here. Thanks. How can I improve the buildings?
The process is exactly the same as for building from the ground up. We need to have enough coin, materials, and of course, something to improve. It goes without saying that there's no point in better blacksmith's equipment if you've no forge to put it in.
Well, I can't argue with that. But why bother with improvements at all?
Because they make it possible to produce better goods that can be sold at a higher price, so we'll earn more money.
Nothing, actually. I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
We'll need woodcutters to ensure timber supplies for building.
Let's go to the site. I'll see to the building.
We're going to build here?
Indeed. Can we begin?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've still got the means. We'll get stuck in then. There's another unpleasant matter for you to handle.
Nothing too terrible, I hope.
That's for you to decide, Master Bailiff. As you know, the woods and everything in them belong to our liege lord. He gave you the right to make use of them. But as far as I know, no one else is allowed to hunt there.
Let me guess. Some of our fold are putting game on their tables from our woods, and I have to deal with them.
Just so. A case like this ought to be judged by his lordship himself, but I fear Sir Divish might be a little too strict in this matter.
So what are my options?
You can hand the poachers over to justice, let them off with a warning, or, of course, one can always turn a blind eye and leave it in the hands of God. What's your decision?
We'll confiscate the poached game and put the fear of God into the culprit so they don't do it again. No point in carrying it any higher. We should keep our own affairs in order.
A wise decision, Henry. I'll see to it.
I want to build something.
We've already finished everything successfully.
So, how am I doing with the village?
Let's see. How do you think you're doing? We've already finished everything successfully. Excellent work, Henry.
I'm glad you're pleased. Sir Divish, I finished the assignment you gave me. Pribyslavitz is up and running once more, and making money. And the church is as good as new.
Indeed? That's excellent news. I can't wait to see it for myself.
Of course, we can go right away.
God be with you.
Welcome to Pribyslavitz.
Well now, I've heard some reports, but to see it with my own two eyes, beautiful.
Me and Marius did our best.
As you saw on the way here, the village is prospering, trade is booming, and the villagers are doing well.
I saw the new buildings as we were riding in. You've both done a magnificent job. I owe you my gratitude and commendation.
Thank you, sir.
How did you manage it so quickly?
We had to clear the woods and the ruins of the former buildings,
I arranged supplies of building materials and victuals from traders nearby.
thanks to which we were able to build what you see here today.
And the church here has become the dominant feature of the whole village.
I'm especially proud of our church.
Indeed, you have plenty to be proud of. Thank you both. I can say wholeheartedly that you have not disappointed me. On the contrary, you have exceeded my expectations.
It's been an honor.
I quite concur.
Master Marius, I'd like you to stay on in the village. As soon as things have settled in the province, we can begin with the expansion as planned.
As you wish, my lord.
As for you, Henry, as I promised, you shall continue to have the income from the village, as well as the bailiff's office.
Thank you, my lord.
I thank you, Henry. Few could manage what the two of you have achieved here.
This one is from Neuhoff. Take good care of him for me.
Good health to you, Henry.
Greetings. What business have you?
My lord, I bring greetings from Smill's widow, Zora, mistress of the Neuhoff stud farm.
Zora. The poor woman, to lose her husband in such a terrible way. How can I help her?
She sends her respects and would like to ask, if you don't mind, why you stopped buying horses from her.
I take my horses from Uzits now. It's no reflection on Zora or her people, but it was clear to me after the tragedy at Neuhoff that the stud farm would never recover. I'm not inclined to buy my steeds from a stud farm run by a woman. You can understand that, can't you? Being a stable master is a man's work.
Perhaps you don't trust women, my lord, but I hope I've earned your trust. I'll personally vouch for those horses. They're magnificent animals.
You're right, Henry. You are trustworthy, and Zora does at least deserve a chance. I have an idea. We'll hold a horse race, and whoever's horse fares better, that's who we'll buy from. I hope you will carry the Neuhoff colors.
It looks that way. I've already bought the horse.
Splendid. Tell my stable master about my decision. Meanwhile, I'll send word to the riders from the other stables around. Let's make a proper show of it. God be with you.
I'm glad to see you.
Sir Divish has sent me about the race.
Race?
Yes, I'm to tell you he wants to arrange a horse race. He will send word himself to the other stables and riders in the area.
It's true no one's raced the Talmberg track for ages. And the folk around here could use a bit of excitement. But what's your part in this?
Actually, Mistress Zora sent me. She wants his lordship to start buying her horses again.
Zora? She's from the Neuhof stud, ain't she?
Yes.
I hope with all my heart you win. After what's happened to Zora, she deserves some luck. Do you know the rules of the race?
I don't.
We'll tell you before the start of the race where the poles are and what order you have to reach them in. There's no set course. You can take any route you want. Knowing the lie of the land is very important. You must take a ribbon from each pole, and once you have them all, you can ride back. If you're the first one here, then you win. Got it?
I understand.
All right, but a race like that will take some time to arrange. Bring the dappled grey tomorrow to the gate of the Outer Bailey at noon. The start will be there.
All right, thanks.
Goodbye.
I welcome you all to the Great Talmberg Horse Race, where the best steeds and riders in the land will compete to see who's fastest. Fate and fortune won't decide the winner here today. Horsemanship, knowing the lay of the land, and quick wits will bring victory. But I won't hold things up any longer. Competitors, prepare yourselves. Ready, steady, go!
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And here's our champion. A very impressive ride, Henry. Truly. And on a horse from Neuhof. It seems I'll have to reconsider where I get my horses from.
Are you going to buy from Zora then?
I'd be insane not to. You've proven to me the exceptional nature of her horses. Please send her the news with my greetings.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you. I'll pass your message on to her.
God's blessings.
That race, it was quite something.
So the race is over? Tell me, please, how did it go?
Not good. Terrible. Atrocious, really. Zora, prepare for the worst.
Mother of God, what am I to do?
Alas, you'll need to begin anew. Because Sir Divish wants to buy your horses.
Why, I ought to wring your neck, you rat. That's not the kind of joke you play on a woman of my age.
Congratulations, Zora.
Thank you, lad. But how can I ever pay you back? Wait, I've got it.
You'll get the best saddle to be had in the whole province. Smill had it made in Kuttenberg.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's you I owe thanks to, lad. God be with you.
I am honoured that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
I need a skilled swordsmith in Pribyslavitz who'll put good, strong steel in my men's hands. Are you interested?
What? Now? When I'm on the verge of forging the most powerful weapon ever seen? The Queen of Sheba's sword? No, I've no time now for anything else.
Any chance of some work?
Well, come to think, there is one rather delicate matter to attend to. A while ago, a holy man came by here. He said he'd come from the Holy Land, and he was selling various relics he'd collected on his travels to pay his way.
I see.
Well, I heard he had some fragments of a sacred sword that once belonged to the fabled Czech Queen of Sheba. But by the time he reached me, he had no pieces left of the sword. All he had was some dubious wares, splinters from our Lord's cross, thorns from the crown, nothing of interest to me.
And where did the pieces of the sword go?
He sold them off to swordsmiths and blacksmiths hereabouts. They just keep them lying around at home for good luck. If I had them, I'd forge them back into a sword, can you even imagine what power it would command? If you could get me all the pieces of the sword, I'd repay you very handsomely.
Are you sure the Queen of Sheba's a Czech queen?
Who else would she be? Have you not heard of her? Our some priest. She's in the Bible.
Uh-huh. Isn't it a bit strange that some pilgrim would have something so valuable?
Are you suggesting he might have been lying? Well, people aren't to be trusted, but this is nothing to joke about. God would smite him in a flash if he made light of holy relics that way.
What kind of power did this sword have?
What do you think? It brought its bearer good luck in combat and protection from enemies.
Where can I find the powers?
Like I said, the smith hereabouts bought them from him. They say the largest piece is with the rat-eyed swordsmith. The bastard probably won't want to sell. But if you manage to swipe it somehow...
I could do with a sword like that. What if you sold it to me?
Well, everything has its price, but this one would be expensive. Getting hold of the bits is one thing. Forging them back together is quite another. That tinkerer from Rattay couldn't manage it.
Well, it does sound very interesting. I'll ask them and see what I can do.
Excellent. You'll see you won't regret it. I'll pay you well. Farewell. Jesus Christ be praised.
It took quite some doing, but I have all the pieces.
Really? Well, that is marvellous. Give it to me, and I'll get to work right away. Here's your money, and if you want to see the result, come by tomorrow. I should have it done by then.
Fine. Thanks.
May the Lord watch over you. I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
So, have you forged the sword?
I certainly have.
And?
It's wondrous. Even I can feel its power. I think this is my life's greatest work. I'll never make anything to match it. Do you want to buy it?
Can I try it?
Have you lost your mind? This is only for serious people who know what they want. If you don't know what it's worth, leave it be. Take care now.
I need a skilled swordsmith in Pribyslavitz who'll put good, strong steel in my men's hands. Are you interested?
What? Give up my shop here to move to some ruins in the woods? Trade's not so great right now, true, but why would I do that?
You're looking at it all wrong. You should see it as an investment in a better future. How many smiths are there here in Sasau alone? In Pribyslavitz, you be the one and only. And the village is growing and growing, so there'll be fat profits to be had.
I can see you're an enterprising young man. All right, I'll do it. Good luck to you.
How are you, Henry?
Henry!
I'm glad to see you.
Matthew! Fritz! You're alive!
Of course we're alive.
You can't get rid of us that easily.
I'm almost surprised how happy I am to see the pair of you are all right.
We are now, but we barely made it.
Yeah, it was hard. Fritz ran like a little girl.
Really?
Bollocks! Bloody joker.
Tell us what happened to you.
They gave me a pretty good thrashing as well. It was only in Rattay that I got back in my right mind.
And I see you're not doing too badly for yourself. What are you up to?
Right now, I'm a squire for Sir Radzig.
I see you've worked your way up.
And how are you two getting by?
It's shit.
You said it. We're still chopped off to bits. Owe the monastery a bundle. And there's no work here.
Not for anyone with more than half a brain, anyway.
Well, you two and work never got along. But don't tell me that they're not in need of carpenters. They're reconstructing the monastery.
They don't want us there.
And there's nothing else around here.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to know of anything?
It will really help us out right now.
Well, I can ask around, but I'm not promising anything.
Thanks, Henry.
We'll pay off the debt. Don't you worry.
And where would they hire you to?
Well, we were carpenters in the mines, so wherever they work with wood, I suppose. Forget about construction. After Skalitz, no one will be building for a long time. Just here in Sasau, and they don't want us here. The best chance we have is to work at a mill. People always have to eat. Ideally, we're looking for a job that pays a lot and doesn't require much work.
What other neighbours of ours made it?
Your hunker's in the monastery. That girl really helped us out. That's about all we know. When we ran for it, we helped Teresa, but who knows where she is now? We got separated.
I owe my life to Teresa. She hauled me unconscious to the mill in Rattay and nursed me back to health.
I'm glad she survived. Since you know her so well, why not try asking her if she knows about any work?
Hey, I've got this thing going in Pribyslavitz, and there's plenty of problems, and, well, I could use a helping hand.
Sorry, Henry, old pal, but I'm up to my ears on my own problems. Maybe another time, when things get settled.
Good luck, then.
I've got something for you. I hope you won't need them, but just in case.
Thank you. Wouldn't you like to take a stroll somewhere?
I'd love to. Henry, let's play a game.
What game?
A guessing game. I have something with me today, and you have to guess what it is.
All right. You'll have to give me a clue, though.
Fair enough. Here's a clue for you. It's something you'd find in a tavern.
Is it beer?
Oh, I made it too easy for you, didn't I?
So it is beer. Let's be having it then.
Wait, that's not all. Since you guessed right, as a reward, you can choose. Either I'll give you the beer, or I'll reveal one piece of family wisdom our grandfather used to tell us.
Tough choice. All right, I'll take the wisdom.
Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Really, really ready?
Don't leave me in suspense. Tell me.
Right. Listen carefully. This is the wisdom of our family, passed down from generation to generation. When someone offers you free beer, take it.
Well, that's it. All right, you got me. I admit it. Nice one.
At least next time you will be wiser. Anyway, that's all the wisdom I have for you today. It's time me and my beer headed for home. Will you accompany us?
Well, naturally I couldn't leave such a pretty pair to go alone.
I must go, Henry. Take care. Hail the conquering hero.
Matthew and Fritz send their regards.
They survived. My God, I'm glad. They helped me out a lot. And where did you see them?
In Sasau. I bumped into them in front of the tavern. Where else?
And how are they doing?
They're doing fine. The monks brought them back to health. But they don't have work, and they're in debt. You wouldn't happen to know of any jobs going for two lazy carpenters?
Not here. And I think it will be the same in all of Ratai. It's overcrowded with refugees and they're all looking for work.
That's bad. Those two need work badly. To keep them out of mischief. You know what they're like.
I do indeed. Try the mills in the smaller hamlets. The miller in the Dechko is old. Maybe he could use some strong hands.
I will. Thanks. Wouldn't you like to take a stroll somewhere?
What, now? I can't at the moment. But stop by later and we'll go.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
Is there any work here for carpenters?
I don't need any carpenters. God be with you.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
Teresa, the millmaid, sent me. She said you could use some help.
Some extra pairs of hands would be useful. What do you have in mind?
My friends, two survivors of Skalitz, are looking for work.
And why should I take them?
They're experienced carpenters.
Why not? Carpenters would be helpful. There's a lot of work here at the mill, and I'm not as spry as I used to be. Thomas, my foreman, tries his best, but he ain't up to that kind of work. But they aren't idlers and drunks, are they? I only take in people who are willing to do hard, honest work.
They're good men. From Skalitz. Basically your neighbours. You have to help them.
That's God's own truth. Love thy neighbour as thyself. Tell them I'll give them a chance. We'll talk about pay and a roof over their heads when they get here. God be with you.